Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A good morning to you all. Our guest of honor, Engineer Badr Azidi, CEO of Vodafone Oman, Dr. Musa Al-Kindi, the Dean of MCBS, our esteemed industry partners, students, alumni, faculty and staff, honored guests. Welcome to the second International Conference on Innovation in Information Technology and Business, the Iciitb 2024. It is our great pleasure to have you here today at the opening ceremony of the Iciitb 2024. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tarfa Al-Sulaimani, and I'm the Director of Industry Liaison here at MCBS. Before we move on to our program, I would like to take care of a couple of housekeeping issues. Firstly, please note that there are no fire drills scheduled for today, and therefore, if you do hear the fire alarm, we request that you kindly rise from your seats and exit the hall to your left in a calm manner and through the college's main entrance, which will be right ahead of you, after which you will be guided by our student ambassadors and conference organizers to the dedicated assembly points. Secondly, kindly note that the restrooms are located on this floor in the Academy, our corporate training arm, as well as to the left of the reception desk as you exit this hall. Once again, our student ambassadors and conference organizers will be happy to guide you should you require their assistance. We would like to now begin our program and shall open our ceremony with a recitation from the Holy Quran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر أن الله يولج الليل في النهار ويولج النهار في الليل وسخر الشمس والقمر كل يجري إلى أجل مسمى وأن الله بما تعملون خبير ذلك بأن الله هو الحق وأن ما يدعون من دونه الباطل وأن الله هو العلي الكبير ألم تر أن الفلك تجري في البحر بنعمة الله ليريكم من آياته إن في ذلك لآيات لكل صبار شكور وإذا غشيهم موج كالظلل دعوا الله مخلصين له الدين فلما نجاهم إلى البر فمنهم مقتصد وما يجحد بآياتنا إلا كل ختار كفور.
And now for a brief corporate video on MCBS. Once again, we welcome you to the Iciitb 2024, where researchers have an opportunity to present their research to an international community on innovation in the IT and business arenas, and stay informed on the latest global trends in the field of business and IT. I would like to now call upon our esteemed Dean, Dr. Musa Al-Kindi, to deliver his opening remarks. Welcome, Dr. Musa.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Engineer Badr bin Saud Azidi, Chief Executive Officer, Vodafone Oman, respected members of the Board of Governors for MCBS, dear guests, presenters, panelists, faculty, staff, and students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. On behalf of all the community of MCBS, and especially the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science at the Modern College of Business and Science, we welcome you to the second International Conference on Innovation in Information Technology and Business. The conference is organized in collaboration with two reputed international universities, Singidunum University in Serbia and Christ University in India. It signifies MCBS's commitment to meaningful and state-of-the-art contribution to research and emphasizing collaborative endeavors with our international partners. Numerous new technologies have emerged during the last few years, which have been well received and have affected the commercial environment. These innovative technologies, their effect on business, and the challenges they pose will be all covered in this conference. It will also explore and discuss the transformative power of information technology. The focus of this conference is on innovative ideas, approaches, research, and developments in the areas of artificial intelligence, blockchain, cybersecurity, data analytics, to name a few. This conference is a two-day event with two keynote speeches, a panel discussion on machine learning, and several research paper presentations in the two sessions spread over the 2 days. More than 50 research papers submitted by researchers from several countries, including United States, UK, Serbia, and India, and Oman, are scheduled for presentation at this conference. The conference will be carried out in a hybrid format, allowing world-scattered researchers, academicians, business and industry professionals, and policymakers to present in this conference. Dear guests, we are happy to see some of our industry partners, including our esteemed guest of honor, whom together we will work to forge long-term cooperation and mutual benefiting relationships, and to foster innovation and entrepreneurial projects and facilities at our college. I sincerely express my deep appreciation to the organizing committee and the many departments and individuals who worked diligently to plan and make this happen. Thanks also go to our partners in organizing this conference, Singidunum University and Christ University, and to all of you, our dear guests, for attending this conference. Have a wonderful and exciting conference. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Dr. Musa, for your warm welcome and insights. On the agenda next is our keynote speech on machine learning, presented to you by Engineer Ahmed Iciitb, Manager in Data Science at Vodafone Oman. Engineer Ahmed, welcome, and please join us at the podium. تفضل.
That's fine. Yeah. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for the warm welcome. Every time you send a message, make a call, or browse the internet, there is a complex network of technology basically making that happen. Now that network, imagine that network basically is self-healing, optimizing your experience, and beyond that basically is machine learning and data science. My name is Ahmed Iciitb, and I've been in the telecom industry for 14 years. For the last 4 years, I've been working for the third operator in Oman, which is Vodafone. My domain basically is digital transformation, architecture, and data science. Now, Vodafone Oman started in 2022 as a third operator with the other two sisters. We have over 700,000 customers as of now. We have digital services, we provide the mobile services, and I want to give you a brief what's make Vodafone different operators basically. The principle we are working with in Vodafone, we want to personalize the customer experience. So we understand customers have different needs, different wants, and these wants and needs changes by the day, and we need to understand that. We want to have a full view of our customers, what's happening every day. We want to deliver digital services. We don't want customers to go to retail shops. We don't want to leave their homes. We want them to be able to use the services from their home. Of course, we use cutting-edge technologies. We making sure that we have real-time self-healing. And to enable all of this, we use different technologies and methodologies. So one of them, we use cloud computing. We no longer basically buy servers, ship them from overboard, and this. We basically, use cloud as our infrastructure. We break down the codes in microservices. We use containerization as a technology. And the most important things with data science to do all of that. Some of the application we have, we basically, if anyone uses Vodafone, we have the facial recognition, we have the auto corrections, we have the fraud detections. All of these are application, and I'll be talking about specifically data science. So when I say data science, it's meaning artificial intelligence. I'm going to use this interchangeably, so it's going to be artificial intelligence, data science, and machine learning is the same term. Now, the history of machine learning, this started long time back. It started in the 50s by a pioneer called Alan Turing, and he came up with a paper called Artificial Intelligence, and he posed the question, can machine think? This has been there for the last 70 years. There is a lot of changes. There's a lot of challenges happen, and during the 80s and 90s, we have something called AI winter, where there's not much happening because of the lack of computing, power of computing, and the data. But from 2006, we have seen the evolution, the data learning. We have seen in 2016 something called the rise of AlphaGo, which is, the Go game, which is a very complex game, and Google has managed to have a solution that can beat the best players in the world. And we have seen in 2008 the paper that's Attention All You Need. And from that paper, we see today everyone knows about ChatGPT and with the explosion of large language models. So what is this machine learning? Machine learning basically using data. We use data. In software world, there is two schools. One of them, we use a logic, fixed logic, and the other one, we use basically data to build softwares. And we can break this down to three things. I hope this is not too technical for you this morning, but we have to go through this. Okay, so machine learning basically, and this is being used in Vodafone, by the way, every day. So one of them is supervised. We label the data we want to know. For example, I have given you here a simple abstract example where the shapes are labels. There is a circle, there is a triangle, there is a square. And if I run that, the machine going to identify, is this a circle, is this a triangle, is this a square, and try to basically find the pattern, learn the pattern. And in a real life situation, imagine the email, basically. The email and the spam, anti-spam, now you don't have all that spam. For the older generation, when we started, we got a lot of spams. We don't see it now today, basically. We don't see it, The machine learning is behind that. The other section is unsupervised. Unsupervised, we get the full data and without no labels, and then we start segmenting the data. An example of that here again, if I give you an abstract idea, I think you can look at it and you can, okay, there are maybe 3 groups, or maybe there is 2 groups if you go based on the color. But that's the idea behind it. And the third one, which is in reinforcement learning, imagine there is an AI in a game and trying to get, to a goal. So you always reward or penalize the agent. Now, how we are using this in Vodafone Oman. So at Vodafone Oman, we have mobile customers. And one of the things is we need to protect our customers. So cybersecurity is a big thing in Vodafone, and it's not just about protecting Vodafone assets as network and IT, but also protecting the customers. So in this idea here, we get the network logs, we get the security reports, the malware samples. It's data, first of all. And you will notice a pattern here. That's, for any machine learning data science problem, we always start with a problem statement. And then we go to the next step. And then we go to the next step, which is the data, finding the data, and that's the biggest challenge you might face. Once you answer these 2 questions, you go to the next step, which is the data engineering. Data engineering, I want to get this data, I want to clean it, I want to make the data behave the way the way I want it. From there, I go to the algorithm selections. We mentioned supervised, unsupervised, and now you identify basically the problems. And then you train the model, you deploy. The benefit, basically, you're going to see that with a huge amount of data, you cannot do this manually. It's inefficient, it's impossible in some cases. We talk about millions of transactions every day. And so this is one of the use cases. The other use case is the customer experience. So we are not just selling services, we want to make sure our customers are happy. So the problem statement here is, can we measure the customer satisfactions using data? Okay. The next question, again, is the data available? And the data, basically, we get the data now from social media. Social media, one of the best resources we can get. From there, we apply the algorithm. Algorithm is the sentiment analysis, models, and NLP algorithm. Of course, the benefits here, we get insight in the customer satisfactions. We are guiding our team to improve the products, to improve the services. Again, I want you to see the pattern here. So always start with a problem statement. Get obsessed with the problems, not the technologies, and then ask if the data is available, and what's the source of this data, and is the data clean, is it usable? Another important thing, and this is really important, the fraud detections. We want to protect not just Vodafone financial assets, but the customers as well. And believe it or not, this is happening every day. It's when a customer, I want to call it fraudsters, but even a normal human being, when they find something free, they'll always take it. Okay, so there is a story. When I was studying in Australia, we figured that out. At that time, we didn't have much of money. So we figured out if we change the +96, which is the country code, to 00968, we get free calls to Oman, And we were happy, We weren't fraudsters, but that's happening all the time, There are always gaps, The complex of network, the system talking to each other, there are always gaps. And fraud detection is a big domain, actually, in telecom operators. So this is one of the things we're trying to, and there is a lot of transactions. So we capture every call logs, every SMS logs, every data sessions. We capture all the data. Can you imagine? Millions of records. We run this again through algorithms. We run it, we're trying to figure out, is this a fraud transaction? Is it non-fraud? And of course, the actions there, you can automate the actions as well. Is this, you can report this to the authorities or block the SIM cards and all that. This one is very interesting because this is the latest one, the explosion of the large language models. And a lot of organizations and companies have data there in documents, in structure formats, unstructured formats, pictures, and all that. And we're trying to do here, basically, we're trying to build a virtual assistant, not like the typical chatbot, but more intelligence, where they can use the data available there. So you get the input text, you run this through a large language model. Of course, you can use something like ChatGPT. They have an open API. And then you can fine-tune that model in your data. And from there, you can automate the customer care, where you can have a meaningful conversation, answer the complaints, or just answer simple questions about your services. This is something we are working on. And I have seen actually a lot of companies working on this as well, utilizing the large language models. Okay. So I think this is something important because a lot of people, they don't understand, is data science just a separate field, or is there any opportunities in data science? Do I have to have a PhD in artificial intelligence? No, actually data science is accessible to everyone. And there is a list of jobs basically we have in Vodafone, directly through Vodafone or with our partners. So these jobs basically data scientists. Data scientists, the one who take the data and experiment with it. We have the data analysis. We have the machine learning engineers that take the model and implement it and make it, operational. We have the data engineers. We have the data architect. We have the continuous integration, continuous development engineers. And we have the infrastructure engineers, cloud engineers, all of this catering to the data science and machine learning. So maybe one of the most important things I want to say, whether you are a student or you already a professional working in specific fields, data science provides an exciting opportunities, and it's very accessible to everyone. So one of the things you can do, you can download Jupyter Notebook, get a GitHub account, join a Kaggle platform where you can interact with data scientists, enthusiasts, and basically work on real problems. There's a lot of resources online. You can access it, and the future, basically, it's the right time now to get into the data science. The future is just unfolding as we're getting the large language models basically exploding and getting into every aspects of life. I think, yes, thank you. That's the last time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Ahmed, for your informative presentation on how Vodafone Oman incorporates machine learning in its operations and services. And now, it brings me great pleasure to initiate our panel discussion on machine learning. Machine learning, its capabilities, limitations, ethical implications, and societal impact. Machine learning has become a disruptive force in several industries in recent years, changing the way people use technology, process data, and make decisions. However, given its rapid development and growing ubiquity in daily life, it has become imperative to have a deeper conversation about machine learning. Informed decision-making, responsible AI development, and fair access to and use of machine learning technology all depend on an understanding of the demands and ramifications of machine learning discussions. In Oman and globally, artificial intelligence and machine learning have the potential to revolutionize industry by fostering economic growth, efficiency, and creativity. I would like to invite our panelists to join us on the stage. Our moderator, Dr. Abdullah Zakwani, please join us. Ms. Layla Al-Hadrami, a panel member. Dr. Haider Al-Lawati, please join us. And Mr. Nasser Al-Nabhani, please join us. Thank you all. I would like to introduce our panel moderator, Dr. Abdullah Zakwani, who is Executive Director of Research and Innovation at Lamad LLC, and is an experienced academic and industrial expert in data science and artificial intelligence. He specializes in intelligent agent, a core branch of reinforced and unsupervised learning techniques. Dr. Abdullah holds a PhD in mathematics, AI, and GIS, and has taught as a senior lecturer in various universities in the United Kingdom, with a long appointment to the University of East London as the head of BSc and MSc programs and units including software development, cybersecurity, mathematics, and artificial intelligence. For us here at MCBS, we are extremely proud of all Dr. Abdullah's achievements, as he is a valued alumni of our institution. As always, welcome back, Dr. Abdullah. Next on the panel is Ms. Layla Al-Hadrami. Layla is a visionary and global futurist leader in smart, sustainable cities with over 20 years of experience in the government and private sector. She's the managing director of Communities Connect Cities, C3, a leading advisory company in smart and sustainable cities that empowers organizations to achieve their goals and create positive impact. She is also the first executive director of the Oman IT Society and is a recognized expert and advisor in metaverse, digital transformation, innovation and tourism, with multiple publications and awards in these fields. Welcome, Ms. Layla. Next on the panel is Dr. Haider Al-Lawati. Dr. Haider is the Senior Manager of Artificial Intelligence at Oman Data Park and has over 8 years of industrial experience, predominantly within the telecom sector, coupled with over 6 years of academic engagement. He obtained both his BSce and MSc in engineering from Queen's University, Canada, where he specialized in telecom, after which he obtained his PhD from the esteemed University of Toronto in Canada, where he specialized in artificial intelligence. After obtaining his PhD, Dr. Haider worked as a postdoctoral fellow in the Electrical Engineering Department of the University of Toronto, where he collaborated with industry to conduct cutting-edge research in developing algorithms for distributed and high-performance computing systems, along with his research in federated learning. For us here at MCBS, we are proud that Dr. Haider is a valuable member of our faculty, where he teaches machine learning. Always nice to have you, Dr. Haider. And last, but definitely not least, it is our pleasure to introduce Mr. Nasser Al-Nabhani, the CEO of Tatweer Cybersecurity, a leading cybersecurity firm in the region. Mr. Nasser is the co-founder and CEO of Tatweer Cybersecurity, a leading force in cybersecurity solutions. Committed to innovation and strategic leadership, Nasser directs the company's vision and growth. He holds a master's degree in international entrepreneurship and a bachelor's degree in mechatronics. For us here at MCBS, we are proud to have Mr. Nasser on this panel, as Tatweer Cybersecurity is one of our most successful industry partnerships, and we are proud to say that 60% of Tatweer Cybersecurity is staffed by MCBS graduates. Welcome all. I now invite Dr. Abdullah to take over as moderator of this panel. Dr. Abdullah, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I hope I know how to use this thing. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm Abdullah Zakwani. As already been explained, our panel has already been introduced to everybody. We are covering the topic of machine learning, its capability, limitation, ethical implication, and social impact. These are extremely important subjects in today's day and age. Just to let you know the impact of this, I keep on referring as we being a professor in a university in the UK, in Essex University where I teach and Cambridge University where I'm affiliated to. We have introduced a very dedicated subject for cybersecurity, specializing specifically on artificial intelligence impact into computer security. At the same time, when it comes to ethical or ethics, we've, well, there have been 2 new chairs in Cambridge University and Oxford just dedicated to make sure that the ethical implications are taken care of. I'm very happy to be with the esteemed panel here. They will give us their input and of where the subjects are going. So without further ado, I think we've prepared some questions to see how much you know about this subject, and I think Tarfa will display them, and at the end of the session we'll discuss them to see what you got right and what you got wrong. Let's start with that first.
You'll get prizes, the most important.
That's on Tarfa.
They will get prizes.
So we invite you to scan the QR code on the screen, and there are a series of questions at the QR code, and invite you to share your input, your understanding, your insights, read these questions. And at the end of the session, inshallah, the panel session, once our panel have shared their insights and input, we will review all the responses and the answers and have a quick discussion on all your feedback and insight. Has everyone had a chance to scan the QR code? Are we all set on the QR codes? Yes? I'll give you a few seconds. All right? Thank you all. Yeah. Dr. Abdullah, the floor is yours.
All right, so I suppose you all got the questions, and hopefully we'll get all the right answers. So first, I'd like to pose the first question to the panel. This is basically on basic definition and functional application of AI in your own workspace. And what do you think about that, about AI in terms of the human enhancement to do with your job site or your work area and everywhere else? I think we'll start with Layla.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abdullah. Before starting, I would like to share a little story with all of you. The word technology, the first time, I started, let me say, working with the word technology, it was in 2005, back when I met Dr. Musa there. And I was so much happy today to meet him again. Dr. Musa was one of the inspiring leaders, to be honest with you. You are so much lucky to have one of the trusted leaders here, because he was one of the pioneer people in Oman to speak about the technology in education, technology in our lives. And when it comes to the technology education is the main source that we can build our societies. So thank you so much, Dr. Musa. I'm so much honored that I worked with you in 2005 and wish you all the best in this college. So back to the question, Dr. The AI, everyone when you say AI, we are still, some people in some organization, they will go step back. They say, no, thank you so much. That is something we cannot deal with it. Only people with Dr. Haidar, and let me say, the smart people can deal with it, but not all of us. But the AI is no more like before. Now it's becoming, let me say, it's part of our lives. Recently, one of my friends, she was coming to me and she said, I'm so much upset. And I said, why? She said, the other department, they don't know how to write reports. And I said, why they have to write reports? They should no more learn how to write reports. It's the AI who can today, write these reports. Because nowadays, we are using technology for what? Enhancing our, let me say, productivity in the work environment, right? So it's very important, and the main challenge, in every organization, they assume that every employee, they will know about what's really happening around us. No, that's wrong. Because so many people, they are still, let me say, resisting any new change. And I'm sure all of you have been through that. Even when it comes, for example, do you have, for example, let me say, iPhone or Samsung, for example, Android or ISO. If they ask from you to use the other one, what will be your action? No, I'm comfortable with the one that I'm using, right? So this is going to be the same scenario in any organization. The people who are getting used to use the same, let me say, skills routine, they will not, let me say, feel comfortable, because that is their comfort zone. So it's very important that in any organization, it should be like innovation roadmap, sustainable, where we start from the top till the, let me say, the bottom, because the leaders also, they have to adapt these, let me say, new technologies. No more, we should, let me say, tell them how to write these reports. The generative AI application can now use this technology so they can know how to improve their productivity. So this is what I could share, from my side when it comes to the workspace. Is no more an option. We should be all there.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to add my perspective from probably another viewpoint, since we are sitting in an academic environment. So it is good to have some academic flavor to the discussion. When it comes to the definition of machine learning or artificial intelligence, I would say it's basically those tasks that are normally done by human, are expected that human beings to carry them out. We are trying to put them toward the machines and computers. For example, we speak, we understand each other, we translate languages, we make decisions, we see each other, we understand. These are things normally are not done by machines. Machine can calculate numbers, can automate certain things, can do some mechanical jobs, but if I talk to this box or to this microphone, it will not understand my feeling, it will not understand, it will not be able to translate my language. So these kind of things are basically the tasks that we are calling it intelligent tasks. Normally are done by human beings because of our brain, because of our natural intelligence. So if we shift those tasks and abilities to machines can mimic our intelligence, we call that artificial intelligence. All right. So what they can contribute to us and provide us in industry and in workspace is a lot. And we can see from some examples, as was mentioned about the writing of reports. But imagine that we have work and we cannot finish it or cannot automate it, or it's just gets stacked. because of lack of resources, and we don't have infinite amount of people or infinite amount of money to produce more and more of these work. So here where artificial intelligence is used or can be used to leverage its power and abilities to help bridge that gap. It's not meant primarily to replace human or make people lose jobs, although that will happen, and we've seen throughout the human history from the beginning, whenever there is a revolution, a technical revolution, there's always a change. Jobs that have been done in the past 100 years are gone, not anymore, right? Even the computer and the internet has made certain people lose their jobs, but it opened up other opportunities for new jobs. So in our company, we are an infrastructure and cloud computing company, data center company. For us, it is important that, since that is our bread and butter, it is important that we have AI somehow embedded in those infrastructures so that when it consumes power, it is intelligently consuming the power when needed and saves the energy when it's not needed. For example, for safety and security with CCTVs, you want, for example, to reduce the amount of frictions and usage of access. So by camera detecting the person, and it knows this person whether or not it is authorized to enter this room or not, it can help him to get in with minimum number of actions required. These type of actions at the moment we are using it in ODP. In the future we plan to expand. Of course the generative AI and the use of LLM, we are using it currently in certain departments when they are, for example, putting the contracts. If you have 100-page contract and you want to read and analyze the contract, it will take so much time for few. Like, we have 2 people working in that department and they have lots of contracts to deal with. It's just going to take them forever. So once we start implementing this system with using large language models to help them analyze the contracts, it took them a few minutes by chatting with the document, checking certain questions. It goes through the document, it gets that answer, and it tells you where it is, right? So it would save hours of going through those documents by just simply asking the AI system to do that task for you. So this is basically what AI is, and this is where it is used in our workspace.
Go ahead. So yeah, same question. Basically, we just want to know the basic definition and functionality of your functional application in cybersecurity, more or less. Let's make it brief, and we'll go to the next question because a lot of things we're covering in within.
So, mashallah, Doctor, you just mentioned everything about AI.
Yeah.
So we can say in our field, in cybersecurity, so currently there's AIs in the world that it's exclusive to their companies. And last year we thought that we know about machine learning, about AIs, about the companies, but currently from 2024 there's a new companies who are starting using AI in different way, in different model, different hardwares, and we can say that it developed the need in cybersecurity. So for an example, currently there's an AI engine who developed malwares that we can say there's no any needs for any antiviruses anymore because it can bypass it immediately. And we have seen this, we have testing this, and currently we are working, developing each system in different way that we can manage it our side, because in the end, yes, as Dr. said, it will take some jobs and it will create new jobs. So even the programming language has been developed, have been changed completely, and that will increase the speed of learning new languages, new systems and hardware.
Great. Second question, we'll try to interact as much as we can so that we can have as much time as we can. With the current explosion of artificial intelligence, there's obviously going to be major disruption. I know, Doctor, you've covered this a little bit, but what expected disruption in the job space? What should the audience know so that they can prepare themselves on which areas to enter?
When it comes to the disruption, okay, as as said Dr. Haider already, It's very important, because there's a lot of, let me say, when it comes to the, let me say, the AI implementation and the machine learning, there are challenges and opportunities. So when it comes, let me say, to the academic sector, for example, one who's nowadays struggling, the academic stuff, because students today, they know more than the academic sector, the academic stuff. Am I right? And we're always, because, when the era of, let me say, AI started, everyone was saying we are still not ready. And the funny thing that, the new generations are ready than us, the old generations, let me say. And one day, one of my friends, she came and she said, my son, he came to me and said, because, she came to me and she said, Leila, I just remember you. I said, why? Because she said, you always tell me about that I have to use the AI, but I was really afraid to let my kids use the AI. And one day her son went to his mom and he said, Mama, today I used AI, and she was shocked, but I used it ethically. And she said, how did you do that? And he said, well, we have a lesson, we got a lesson at school, but I couldn't understand my teacher. So I asked from ChatGPT to help me to clarify the lessons for me. So now we are talking about the ethical side. The students already knows when it comes to the ethical side and the non-ethical side. So
just to interrupt a little bit, I think we should cover the last question together with this, because they are related, especially you're going into that particular sector. It also pertains with current LLM and ChatGPT, as you said, people can get everything they need just by going to ChatGPT as an example. What will be the societal and ethical implication? So as you're explaining the disruption in the job space, maybe it's good that we cover that area as well.
Okay, let me just continue something, except that. So the current scenario, as I said, the new generations, the students even at school, I'm not just talking now about the students in the college and so on, they are no more interested to do, let me say, assignments the way that we used to get, asked from us, to write assignments and so on, because everything is done through the generative AI applications. So today we have to challenge the students, because they already know about all the challenges, they know about the AI, they know everything. So we have to challenge them today. Because believe me, they are so much smart. Because nowadays we are talking about how we can humanize the technology. I'm sure that Vodafone now they have like a challenge so they can, because even the telecom sector is no more the telecom sector that we used to know it. Because the telecom sector we used to just get the, let me say, the network, the data, and that's all. No, today they have to provide services. Am I right? Because if they are not providing services with the, let me say, emerging technology, they'll be out of the market. It's going to be the same. Are we going to, let me say, invest in our students? Because I know we have smart students who already have, let me say, smart applications. They are using the machine learning in a very advanced level. 2 days ago, in Oman IT Society, and this is also an invitation for everyone, especially, the students and all the academic staff and everyone here to join us in Oman IT Society. There was, because we have like a WhatsApp group, and there was somebody, from the students. He shared his platform, and I was shocked. Oh my goodness, he's still a student, and he shared his platform. And his platform was prepared. He created his platform by using, let me say, the AI, and he prepared that platform for whom? Programmers who are using the AI.
Yeah, but let's catch up with that. What about the issues of security and, as I said, ethical implication in the area?
So everyone knows in cybersecurity there's nothing called ethical or non-ethical.
Sorry, Nasser, can we switch microphones? May I have that one, please? Shukran. Dr. Hida, do you mind? Shukran.
So in our field, as I mentioned, there's no like ethical or non-ethical. Currently, ChatGPT can develop a full malware to exploit any vulnerabilities. Don't try it, please. But they won't reach it. They won't reach it fast or easily. But everyone knows ChatGPT. Everyone knows it. Yes, it's one of an AI. But there's a tools, and it's not free tools. That's the real AI. So the revolution of AI, yes, it started, but within the 3 years, it will change the world, as there's a new AI systems. For an example, we think that let's say for us in our company, we'll start using Watson AI for our development. Then currently last week we signed with NVIDIA AI, and it was again game changing for the full field of, for an example, Hollywood, for the movie industry or filming industry, that everything will start going within AI. And the challenge with the student, as I mentioned before, that they need to learn how to use the right AI in the right way. You can use it any kind you need. You can write a report. But at the end, we are against this, as we need the student to write their own reports, because this is their jobs, their duty, their studies, and how to think faster. In developing AI, it's good to develop softwares and programs.
I think I can tell you in that particular field. So basically, when it comes to development of artificial intelligence, we are going very, very fast, you're right. And there are things happening behind the scene that people don't know about in terms of security. I'm one of the team member of Tropos, which is the largest network for cybersecurity for artificial intelligence era, and I built Gaia as well from the beginning, which is one of the most advanced generative general intelligence engine at the moment. But I think Dr. Haider, maybe you can give us your insights on the field.
Right, and thank you for bringing this point of how fast the AI is being developed, because this is the key thing here. I think the challenge here is that AI has been developed in a pace that is much faster than anyone has ever anticipated, and this made people and politicians, and probably the lawmakers, kind of slower in putting all those guardrails and ethical concerns. Now it's coming. We know that European and also in the region, in the Saudi, they've started putting all these ethical guidelines. However, there are some people who advocate against putting too much of guardrails or I would say limitations, because it will impact and impede innovation. So this kind of debate always happens. But let me talk about another concerns that I have about the over-reliance on AI. I would say we are human beings, very social people. We learn from interactions, from communications, and this is a very important skill that we have to develop. If we will rely on AI for our communications to tell us how to read and write and do everything, and then it will completely take that task out of our hand, I think this will impact our cognitive development as human beings when it comes to communications.
Yeah, but I think,
right? So we can use it to augment our skills to be better, but not to completely offload it from ourselves.
There's a big debate. There's a big debate on that particular field. I think
if I can add one more thing, if I may.
Go ahead.
The world of large language models presents another concern that we should be all aware of, and lots of governments around the world are trying to address this concern, which is that these models are developed based on languages and content that are biased towards some specific values and cultures. And our kids, our new generations, including also not only the new generation, but those are the more concerned part. They will rely too much on these large language models. They will ask questions to ChatGPT and its friends. And imagine that these kids are being now taught, and the values of Western and other cultures are being injected into them, and they become Omanis or Middle Easterns with different morals and values. Therefore, lots of governments around the world, I'm talking about even Western governments, Spain, Italy, Netherlands, in East we have Singapore and China, in the Middle East we have UAE and Saudi Arabia, and now Oman also. They're thinking of having a specific large language models that represents the culture and the value of our own country and our own culture, because the danger is that they can the new AI can steal our next generation from us and make them Westernized.
Dr. Haider. I think we've covered most of the topic. In a nutshell, obviously AI is coming, whether we like it or not. We have to have regulations, ethics implication has to be considered. And furthermore, normally, we should expect AI to take some of our job, but most probably it will create better jobs for us. The example I'd like to give to close this, and then we'll go to the questions, is two things happened very quickly. The first one is when the cars were introduced by Cunho in late 1800s. When Cunho built the first steam engine, they told him that this is going to take all our farming jobs because we use our cows to go around and we do the farming. But now we know that made the industry much better and the world much better. So it could work either or. The other thing is the usage of AI with ideas of like neural link and everything else. The idea now is, would you be, and I think we have one of the questions there, would you agree to be embedded with a chip to make you smarter or work faster? So we ran the survey, and fortunately for me, I was the same person who ran the survey in 1989. I was a kid at that time. I was given the paper to run around, even here in Oman, to ask people questions. And the question was, would you ever use a mobile phone? Do you know what was the answer? 90% of the people say, no, never. Now, there's about 8 billion people in the world and about 16 billion mobile phones. So yeah, every time you want to compete with your neighbor, you want to be better than everybody else, so you will use, everybody will have Neuralink eventually and everything else. Obviously, as Dr. Haider has explained, this needs to be looked at governmentally or in the governance level, ethical, in the family space, and academic especially. And we need to prepare the people for the jobs of the future more than anything else. Thank you very much, the esteemed panel. Now maybe we can look at our questions and look at our statistics on what came out. Thank you. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That's, I think actually I will stand there so I can see you do the honors. So, well, almost everybody got this one right. I suppose it's an easy one. We all know it's going to change our lives and it's going to change our job environment. Go next. All right. These are quite nice trivial and make you laugh a little bit, so it's good to do it. Yeah.
B, yes, many will embrace AI for increased productivity and longevity.
I think this is easily the yes is winning, and as I already explained, I was expecting to have taken this, but certainly I can assure you we have a lot of experiments that these things happen. I mean, just on a quick story, one day I was in London Underground, and some lady in front of me just started shouting at me out of nowhere, and I was thinking, what did I do wrong? And then I realized on the newspaper, where you get for free, and on the ground there's a big face of mine that says, we want to embed people with chips in their brain so they don't get sick. So it says, you're the kind of people who destroy the world. Yeah, this is where we're going, but we're not destroying the world, we're making the world better. Next question.
How could AI and automation change the job market? A, some tasks may be automated. B, new job opportunities may emerge. C, upskilling and retraining will be key to offset job losses. And D, all the previous answers.
Yeah. It was supposed to be fun rather than complicated. Yeah. Yeah, I think this one is simply a winner, so we all know. Yeah. I think we moved to the absence of time.
What are the societal implications of the widespread adoption of machine learning technologies? A, more reliance on algorithmic decision-making. B, reducing barriers to access for education and information. C, heightened cybersecurity risks due to AI-driven attacks. D, all the previous answers.
Yeah, I don't understand the question properly. I'm just joking. I wrote the question. Yes, just. No, it's. Yeah. So we go next.
What is the anticipated next era in the dissemination of AI technology? A, the era of AI regulation, marked by increased oversight and policies to address ethical and societal implications. B, the era of AI augmentation, focusing on enhancing human capabilities rather than replacing them. And C, all previous answers.
Yeah. Yeah. The idea is to make them fun. They are learning questions, they're not competition. Well, the sixth is the competition, so maybe you move to that one and we can look into that and see.
All right, moving on. One of the questions was written by AI. Could you guess which one?
The rest of the questions, I wrote them. So one question was written by AI. Let's see if you guys can spot it.
1 through 5. Does anyone have a sense?
This one you'll have to wait for everybody to answer for us to talk about. The questions are. So yeah, question D was written by AI. That's the only question that I didn't write. That's why the answer is D. Question 4 was written by AI. Yeah. So I asked ChatGPT with certain prompts. I'm not that good user of ChatGPT, and that's the question we've got. And eventually I thought, maybe I should have asked ChatGPT to write all the questions. That'd be better than mine. So if you realize, the question number 4 was actually the best question written, and that's why nobody was able to determine that that was the question. So thank you very much, guys. If got any questions, and if we have the time permits, or you can catch us outside, we're always here.
Mohammed, please with a mic for Ms. Aisha. Barakallah feek.
First of all, I'd like to thank all the panelists and Dr. Abdullah. You are extremely inspirational, and the time is extremely short. So you are here for a few minutes, but I welcome you back on behalf of Modern College of Business and Science, because each one of your answers is very thought-provoking. So thank you very much. So I don't have a question, but thank you on behalf of MCBS. Thank you.
Do we have any questions for the panel? Any questions from the floor? Right at the back. Behind you, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much for the panel and for CPFS to organize this event. I would like to ask the panel to advise us as faculty what to do if students, use AI and have more information. And also, I would like to share this, which is maybe surprised me, maybe not. I asked Ms. Aisha encouraged us, and the college encouraged us to do researches, and I came up with a paper which is accepted with the help of my college, but I will read for you the acknowledgement. I extend my gratitude to the faculty, staff, and students who participated in this study, as well as to ChatGPT for its invaluable help in enhancing the readability of this paper. So ChatGPT is following us everywhere. Thank you very much.
Maybe I take it first academically. So basically academically, I actually encourage my students to use ChatGPT and all the AI tools. So I've restructured my courses now to be mentally challenging, but very easy to write. So therefore, I actually tell them when we go in, this code, ask ChatGPT to write, and you tell me what algorithm it used, how it used it, and why was it the best algorithm. That would be a type of question that I would ask. So I move to that direction. I don't think you can take your PhD in less than 3 years if you're starting from scratch. Obviously, if you're doing your second one and a third one, even with the AI. So this is what I'm trying to say. The idea is, as an academic profession, there are certain things you can't get by. Okay, we are getting trained now, so there is courses in the UK to spot ChatGPT. For example, certain nice lady last night sent me some topics, and I know they're written by ChatGPT because I'm trained to look at them. Now, the idea, I don't, or maybe this is personal, I don't agree on restriction. And this is my fight. As I said, I work very close with Stradbolt. This is the professor of ethics in Oxford University for the last 10 years. Cambridge just introduced one with Dr. Johnny Penn maybe a year ago. The idea is, how do you implement ethics on things that cannot be implemented? You know, the only way is to work around it. So this is the reason why, I'm trying to be as a pioneer, and soon I'll be publishing papers on asking people, let ChatGPT do everything for you. I will create a course that will challenge you with the ChatGPT. And that's the best way to go about it. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I think we can use AI to augment our knowledge and skills. But to the faculty member who was asking, your student will be using ChatGPT and other tools to generate reports. But you know, I heard this from one of the professors. They said that they allow their students to, when asking them to write reports, to use ChatGPT. But they're asking students to turn in 2 copies, one written by AI and one written by human. And they want to see the value that you as a human have added on top of what AI has done. Okay? And they measure that based on that incremental value, not based on just copy paste. Otherwise, student might be lazy, not thinking of, because I myself, when I use ChatGPT or others, I don't use it as is. I really read and see, okay, I want this, but I don't like this. So you use your judgment here and you analyze further. That will make the output even better than just keeping the AI output.
I will definitely say, let them go with the AI. Because, as I said, nowadays, students are very smart. But you can challenge them. Challenge them to not just submit a report or research. Challenge them to submit, let me say, a product. For example, if it's in the environment, how they are going to save the environment. If it's in the health sector. So it depends in every subject. Because we no more need, let me say, to use the Western applications. We are counting on the academic sector to invest more on the students so they can, let me say, establish the next era of the smart technology. So my advice, let them go with the technology and support them.
Can I have one question here?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum, dear panelists. I have a question. Well, it's more of a concern. Can you hear me? Okay. It's more of a concern because we are talking about technology. So we're moving ahead with the technology. We cannot stop it. But it's affecting our mental functionality. Yes, you discussed the challenges that you can provide during using the AI and all these kind of things. But in the end, if you're talking about mental, the level of students, they're not using their brains, they're not using their skills. We're losing, the little kids are losing their skills, writing skills, imaginative skills. Why? Because they're using technology. I know, it's coming. We have to, I don't want to say to embrace it, but we have to. All right? But I see it's a very big challenge to mental.
Yes, yeah, I think we understood the question. And on the essence of time, you can just tell us to stop whenever you have to, yeah? But I'll tell you something. The argument there is non sequitur completely. And I'll tell you why. Because What is mentally challenging? 20 years ago, I didn't need to ride a plane. Didn't need to think of being a pilot. I just needed to ride my donkey. That's not a problem. Today, it's a different level. So the mental challenge is the onus is on the current status of working. As I said, we have a community, and anybody interested, go through Tarfa. I can get you guys to communicate with, to connect with us. And the advocates, we are advocating on the basis of understanding that human brain is malleable, and we move according to the time, and we need to know what we know when we need to know it. So there's a lot of things. For example, why do I need to write? In ancient times, during the stone time, people didn't need to write. They survived. What they needed then is to know how to run after a deer, catch it, kill it, eat it. That was the game. Now, we were on the era of writing. Maybe the era of writing is going away. What is the purpose of writing initially? Writing is not a function of me writing. Writing has a function, as an outcome to it. This is one thing that we always tell. This is major in government, especially in the Gulf. I've been a consultant for many governments in the Gulf. We look at the process. We don't look at the end products. The end product is you want certain outcome. What is in between doesn't really matter. For example, I have 2 PhDs, and I will encourage you guys to go to the British Library and look at my PhD, because I predicted this since 2007. I published my first paper, okay, to do with general artificial intelligence, pertaining to my PhD. And I don't know how to write. My family beat the hell out of me because I'm left-handed using right hand. So out of all of that, I decided, forget it, I'm not going to write. But in the university, if there's any mathematical problem, I can guarantee you right now, in Cambridge, even in Oxford, the first names will come is Paul Di Sartori, Yakuzawa, Abdallah Al-Zakwani. So, and nobody taught me how to write. If I write my handwriting now and probably your 7-year-old child, you'll think his handwriting is better than mine. But it doesn't mean anything. Anyway.
Maybe I will lean on the other side of the debate here, because I feel that expressing our thoughts in writing is a very valuable and important skill as a human being. I'm not saying about your handwriting. You can even not write a word with your hands, typing it. But expressing those words and sentences is very essential for our cognitive and communication development. And you know, if in the future the content written by AI exceeds the content written by human being, and we use those content to train new AI models, there's an issue here, because this is based on some research papers. We as human, we learn from our predecessors, and we've kind of developed that knowledge incrementally, right? So all the knowledge that we have today, thanks to the cumulative knowledge gained over the decades and centuries. And this input of the previous human to the next human really brings magnitude of advantages. Now, is it the case with AI? And here was a research. They trained an AI. First training was on human-produced content, right? And the AI produced some contents. They used that and trained the second generation of AI to see how it works. After 5 generations, it fell apart. It fell apart. You know, the 5th or the 6th generation of AI was producing nonsense. So relying on AI-generated content is not sustainable in long term. It will fail, according to current research, right? So we should not limit our knowledge or writing only on AI. Human-produced, human-generated content is essential, even for AI. Not only for human, but even for AI. All right? So this is really important, and encourage. And today in the Arabic world, in the Arab world, in the Middle East, we suffer from the lack of Arabic content. And this is one of the biggest challenges to create a chat GPT that is very well versed in Arabic. Right? Why? Because there's only 1% of internet content in Arabic versus over 50% of content in English. So this is one of the biggest challenges that we are facing.
I think we will take 2 more questions because we're pressed for time.
If I can just add one final thing to that question, let me share with you a real story. Because every time we are just blaming the technology, that because of the technology we will not learn like we used to learn and so on. In 2006, I decided to do my master online, fully online. As soon as I decided that, it was like a disaster. Everyone told me you are crazy. Alhamdulillah, I was, working in technology department, so I got support from the faculty members. But the community around me and so on. Maybe the only person who supported me at that time was my dad. And I did my master fully online because they said, well, the online learning is not good, is not effective like face-to-face. So I decided to take the challenge. And when I did my master online learning, part of my master, it was in virtual platforms, what we call it to metaverse. So imagine the metaverse, I experienced that since 2006. And if you are asking me, it was the best environment learning for me. I still remember everything about my learning experience. So the technology is there to help us, let me say, to get equal, let me say, opportunities for education. So we should never blame technology. Technology is there to help us when it comes to the education.
Thank you, Ustadha Leila. Ustadh Muhammad, Fadal, can we have the mic up in front here, please?
Can I ask a question?
Can we? Then I'll come to you, Dr. Ahmed. Come on. Ustadh Muhammad, and then I'll come to you.
Thank you for the very interesting debate. My main concern or IQ rather. Okay, so that's my main concern. The other one, the implication on that is that accountability when it comes to decision making. Today we see governments are using planes and bombs, and they are linking it to AI, and machines learning. The question would be, at some point, when everything is lost, who is accountable? Yeah? When you leave this to machines and a disaster comes in, who is accountable? Where do you go and how the court will be working, how the laws will be drafted to deal with these situations in the future?
So let's say in cybersecurity, currently the regulation is not clear. For example, if there's an AI tool who made some attack on any website servers, so who will take the responsibility? The company, the AI, the guy who run that AI. So currently there's regulation around the world regarding the machine, let's say, industry in general. And currently there's nothing, or please, Dr. Ahmed, there's nothing clear till yet.
Right, there's no governance and ethical guidelines, although the European Union has established that's something, but this is the beginning, and there will be other governments and world organizations following this. So as I mentioned, because the development of AI has been faster than our ability to recognize where it's going, right? And that made this gap, but eventually we'll catch up in terms of regulations. At the moment, yes, these are very valid questions, and we may not have an answer for it. But I think these kind of dynamic life that we live in bring these questions and make the lawmakers get together and debate and come up with new rules and regulations, and which they change and evolve over time. Yeah, so these are very valid questions. I unfortunately don't have a right or wrong answer for it. I mean, a clear answer for it, but I think it will unfold over the course of the next few months or few years.
A quick announcement in regards to this issue. So at some point in the summer, we will be announcing it, inshallah. We will be hosting a seminar or workshop with the Internet Society, which is an internationally known civil society organization, to discuss legislation and AI. And inshallah, we will invite all our audience to attend, bi'idhnillah. For the final question, Dr. Ahmed.
Okay, in the same line of thought about regulations and ethical consideration for the use of AI, especially in academy. There's a debate whether we should experience this for a long time in order to get it right, so that we can sort of cover all the aspects needed to be restricted, let's say, or should we act now in order to stop this to go to another level that we cannot control? This is the first question. The second one, I just wanted to go back to the idea of controlling this AI use in academia or in the economic setting. I think we need to go back to the idea of training our students to ask the right question, because sometimes you might ask a question and you might get nonsense, okay, from AI. And one of the things that we need to really focus on as academic people is to write the right question, or to train our students to ask the right questions. And this is a skill that we will need actually, not only now, but even in the future. Thank you.
I think that's what, yeah.
Sorry, I'm not lining with your answers, Leila, Doctor. What I and we prefer, do not use AI in academic so much. So within that bachelor degree, the 4 years degree, that student won't use his mindset. Yes, he will start asking the right question, he will get the right answers, then he will answer. Then after 4 years, he's getting his bachelor in science or engineering, then what's the outcome of it? Then he will start, let's say, working in one of the companies, and he cannot think right, but he can think how to answer right, or to give the right questions, to get the right answers. So there's some tools that you can detect the AI reports, and it's good using AI, it's really good, but not in the bachelor, let's say bachelor degree or even diploma degree, because in that years, I prefer that the students will learn and to think themselves out of the box, because in the end, the AI, it won't think out of the box. It has been created from by human, and it will still developing by human, as he said, with the fifth generation. If there's no developing by humans, with the right feelings, with the right programming and question, it won't develop itself. So focus on the core of the student.
Can we stop that? I mean, a student is a student, whether in a bachelor degree or a master degree or a PhD.
Yeah, you can't stop it. There's a lot of colleges and universities that we deal with, and they stop it already with some kind of systems. Like, for example, 2 weeks back, we have received an email from one of our international partners, and it was a questionnaire. In the end, if there's any answer used by AI, the full, like the proposal will exactly will finish and won't continue with you guys. So yeah, there's the tools. We already. Yeah, that's how we need to just move fast.
No, I think as I said earlier on, I think we just need to align conceptually, as long as everybody is trained. See, like as I said, I run courses in very prestigious universities, and I can tell you, I actually encourage my students to use all the AI tools they can get. And my concept is just explaining to them what do they need to know to be able to work on the job market. Because I can tell you something, you can use ChatGPT to write your whole PhD as you asked, but you'll need to curate the whole PhD, and you need to know what you're doing. By the way, your auditor here, we have people who write papers scientifically. Doctor, you write papers. You write papers, right? The guy who's reviewing the paper has to be almost as good or better than you to be able to review that paper, right? The student automatically has to work on that auditor's level. Otherwise, as we already know correctly so, ChatGPT could give you a lot of gibberish, could give you a lot of wrong say. You're not going to be able to write a whole report without working on it properly. So for me personally, instead of telling them not to use ChatGPT, I actually train them how to take a ChatGPT report and make it your own. How do you change it? It's the tool of the future. It's like telling people, you're a farmer, we have to teach you how to use a spade because a tractor, it will make you not good enough. You know, it's a tractor. It is what it is. And the problem comes on the competition side, because, for example, for the students, as an example, you're going to, how many out of 100 students you're going to be able to block from passing the net of using AI? So let's say you have 100 students, you caught 90, 10 minutes to cheat using AI. It's unfair, the whole system is unfair, then chuck it in the bin. So this is how it is. So,
and I think we should finish on
yeah,
that note, Doctor.
Yeah,
Shukran, shukran. Barakallah feekum. Please remain there. Thank you to our moderator and panelists for an invigorating discussion on machine learning and for imparting your insights on the impact of this field on business and technology now and in the future. I would like to now invite our Dean, Dr. Musa, along with our guest of honor, Engineer Badr Zaidi, to the stage. Welcome. As a token of appreciation from MCBS to our panelists, we would like to thank you for sharing your time and knowledge with us here today. Kindly remain on the stage for the group photo. I would like to firstly invite our moderator, Dr. Abdullah Zakwani, to receive his token of appreciation. Come around here, yes. Mohammed, go on the stage. Yeah? تعالوا هنا. Please remain on stage, Doctor. Doctor, please remain on stage. Next, we invite Ms. Layla Al-Hadrami. Please join us. Stay here, yeah. Dr. Haider, please join Dr. Musa and Engineer Badr. And Mr. Nasser, please join Dr. Musa and Engineer Badr. And for his keynote speech on machine learning, we invite Engineer Ahmed Iciitb to the stage so that we may thank him for his contribution. Welcome. Please stay on stage, Engineer Ahmed. And to our industry partner, Vodafone Oman, we take this opportunity to thank Engineer Badr Zaidi for graciously accepting our invitation to be the guest of honor of the Iciitb 2024. Group photo, please. Please join Dr. Musa and Engineer Badr. شباب تفضلوا. Thank you very much. Thank you. And with that, on behalf of the Modern College of Business and Science, we thank you for joining us today for the opening ceremony of the Iciitb 2024, and we invite you to enjoy some refreshments in the MCBS canteen immediately across this hall. A final housekeeping note, please note that our upcoming sessions will be taking place in parallel in 2 separate locations. The first location is the Academy on the ground floor, and the second location is the PhD room on the first floor. Once again, thank you all. Thank you very much.
Artificial is different.